All right, so we are back post NY session, and we definitely had an interesting session today. So, for going from my entry pre NY session, we see up here price did come down quite a bit. Didn't exactly hit my TP of 35,200. Came into this zone, got exhausted, and pushed back out. And if I would have held the trade the whole time, I would have been stopped out. But I was doing trailing stops as price continued to drop down on the lower time frame. As you see, as price was making lower lows, lower highs, I kept marking off those levels of structure and doing a trailing stop. Let me drop down to the M5. Actually, you can see it more clearly. So that's basically what I was doing. Price was dropping down. Once it got past this level here, I was marking it off. Had a trailing stop at 33,500. Then I moved it down to 33,400, and that's actually where I left it. This was the next level I was marking off for when it continued to drop. But I left at 33,400, and I got stopped out right here. So with that, let's see here. Yep, 33,400, except for one trade, or one position rather. I had four positions open. One position I closed a little bit lower when price was dropping down into that wick area there. And then I got into one other trade once it pulled back, just one other position to see. Um, I think when price pulled back to about here, roughly, something like that. I think it was this doji and then this candle initially when it was first, going into play. It was looking like it might be, or maybe it was even here. I'm not sure. 33,439 is where I got back in. So 439. Yeah, with the spread and everything, it was probably around here. I think that's what it was. So when it pushed back, I had already been stopped out my trailing stop here at this level, the 33,400. Pushed back, and then I got back in just on one position just to see what would happen, see if it would continue down to the target of the 33,200 I initially laid out, but it didn't. It kept pushing back up, and then it had a nice push back up. So if you were monitoring movement and you saw price push back like this on this M5, this was actually a very good entry point right here on the bullish push up. So, obviously I was trying to write it back down. So I was already, biased that way and it was riding back up. I had my stop on that one, I think at 30, was 100 points, again. So 34, 550, something like that. Right around here was my stop. And as you can see, it just blew past and continued up. But, again, if I would have never done the trailing stop, and I would have held it the whole time and never would have realized my TP. I did have my TP a little bit below structure, kind of just into this area that had only been touched a couple times, and one time was with a wick. So obviously my TP was a little bit further out. I could have, easily targeted, say, this level of structure here, even here a little bit better. 2.5, which is about where I closed out anyways, trailing my stop as you see there. Yeah, there you go. That's actually where my trailing stop was, that level of structure. So I did achieve that. I hit that target, but my target was this previous level, which we did hit yesterday. So that was my goal, my intention. It didn't work out 100%, but just because of trade management, being on top of the trade, I was able to secure profits on the way down, and at one point. Um, about halfway through, once I got to this point, I mean, I was in a risk-free trade. So that's, in my opinion, a great move, a great trade. It didn't fully reach my, initial target of a 1-to-4 risk to reward, which would have been fantastic. Obviously, it got close. It did get very close. And, obviously, I gave some back. If I would have closed 33,400 is where I closed. It went as low as 33,250. So I did give some back, gave back about 150 points uh, before, I got stopped out from my trailing stop, locked in the profits, and walked away. So that's it. That's all for today. So price now, based off of this, with this push up today, again, we will see where it goes between Asian session and early London session before our pre-market, pre-NY session analysis tomorrow. However, I think given the fact that price has now broken above this range here, above this level, I think that price is now, and I'm going to just take off this fib too, because this fib is no longer, in my opinion, is no longer in play really. So I'm going to take off that fib. Now that price is pushed above this level and is now retesting this level, this daily support and this weekly support here, and potentially even this level. Obviously, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but the bias has not changed, in my opinion. The bias has not changed as far as if this is bullish or bearish. All this is still looking bullish. We got 1 day, 23 hours left on the monthly, and this right now, I mean, it's still showing bearish, but it has gotten pushed back up. So the monthly might be closing a little bit weak. So maybe that's an indication of some price movement back up. But as of right now, I do still think it's bearish. Right now as well on the weekly, still, it might be forming a higher low. It might be forming a higher low. I mean, price has hit the brakes there and pushed back up. So still looking kind of bearish, but definitely there's some upward momentum, upward play there. Now here on the daily, this is where we close today. So with all of that in mind, let me zoom out here. With all that in mind, I think price is going to push back up to this level, somewhere in here. I think somewhere around this weekly support, 33,400, let's say, which was where we were targeting at the beginning of the week. And if it gets there, it's either going to continue to push up, retesting these levels, 34,700, 35,200, and keep pushing up, or get rejected and continue to push back down. So is it going to push up to here and then get rejected and continue pushing down? I mean, that'll affect how this is closed out too on the weekly. So on the weekly, right now it's looking, a little bit bullish because it pushed up. It went all the way down there, pushed all the way back up this week. But this next day, we'll really see what happens. If momentum, bearish momentum kicks back in, it could push this back down to where it closes, maybe back down here, something like that. So we'll see. As of right now, I'm still thinking bearish though. Really, I am. I just can't see myself getting into a bullish move here. There's just too much bearish momentum. This is looking like a nice pullback here. There's going to be some bullish momentum pulling back, but I'm thinking, I mean, this is the real test right here. If it respects this and pushes back down, then I think, we're going to be having one of the situations where I was actually targeting earlier in the week. I don't know if it'll play out tomorrow, but, something potentially like this, where an entry there, targeting the same, we can go for that same 33,200 we were doing, 100-point stop. So you're talking about 1 to 9 risk to reward ratio. If it gets up to this point, somewhere in here, anywhere from here to here, somewhere around here, and starts exhibiting signs of exhaustion and price reversal, along with some other factors potentially. So that's what I'm going to be really looking for. I think I can't see myself getting into a bullish move here. Price might push back up, drop back down, and then continue back up here. But I just, again, just thinking logically here, I don't want to project too much. I want to react to what the market's doing and not try to make predictions. But okay, broke above this level here. Now it's testing this level here. Even if it breaks above this level, breaks above and retests, what will be the entry on a buy? On the buy side, what would even be the target? up there, something like that. I mean, I don't see it. I don't, we'll see how these next few hours play out. Maybe it breaks above this, it forms a level of support here where it makes sense, and maybe it looks like something like this. But as of right now, we don't know yet. So let's see where this heads. But as of right now, I'm still thinking that's going to be a move, something like this, with a very, very nice risk to reward potentially. So let's just say here, this is the weekly, roughly in this area. We have a stop roughly there, 100 points, a little bit more, 110 points, whatever, and targeting the same bottom of this range, or if not, just the bottom of the structure. Even still, you're talking about a 1 to 7 risk to reward, which is very nice. But if not, down to here, a 1 to 8, potentially could be very nice as well. So we will see. We will see where this goes over the next few hours, and we will be going over what we have in the morning pre-NY session. Have a great night.